Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Ain't been keeping track, hands still bloody from the deaths in Iraq. Why you lie, many die, and that's factual. Not to mention all your damage, that's collateral. 3 million that you killed in Vietnam, and many still feel the pain of your cluster bomb. While the victim of the World Trade fill your mind, 100,000 people died at the same time. On August 6, 1945, and 50,000 more on August 9th. Remember Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Ask them how they feel about your foreign policy. Not to mention all your interventions, CIA operations, and dirty dealings. Like that organized coup in Guatemala, brought to power death squads killing 200,000. So why you acting like you didn't? Act like a virgin, but you nothing but a stankin' hoe. You disgust me. Would never love them, put God above them, and never trust them. Think that's something? You don't have a clue. Who's the real terrorist? Is it me or you?
Scared in the land of the terrorists. Use your head in the land of the terrorists.
3,767 hit in Afghanistan after September 11. Wanna label me a terrorist to hide your hits? 3,200 kid in New York City, don't be a hypocrite. Where do I fit? In South Korea, Jeju Island. 80,000 civilians killed by US gun firing, undermining communist uprising, and then target a whole population of children to uproot the market. Capitalist failure to succeed forces them to stampede us so they could beat us. Mentally bankrupt trying to feed us. You're dropping bombs with food confused. It's on the news. Philippines 1902, you never knew. 300,000 shot and burned by he who labels you. General J. Smith ordered every life 10 years or older to be slaughtered. Man, wife, son, and daughter. Don't give me no Holocaust, 6 million Jews when 6 million young Iraqi children died. What's more to lose? 1968, 600 women raped, me lied, killed along with children thrown in ditches left to die.
Now you all united, wanna fight it. First you was divided and wouldn't buy it. Now if they need you, you heed the call. Get the half of the story, but you need it all. Come on, who'll be prepared in the land of the terrorists? Who'll be scared in the land of the terrorists? Taking what's fair in the land of the terrorists. Fool, use your head in the land of the terrorists.
As drug addicts roam the streets, stealing to eat, corporations continue to cheat. Overpaid new age slaves digging themselves in graves of debt. Where's the respect with their financial sodomy? Capitalism, the real terroristic economy, denying humans needs and rights. Ain't it funny how the society fights those speaking the truth and fail to understand their part they play in the plan designed by Uncle Sam to hold down a man? Got to be ready to pay the cost. Who's the real terrorist? Could it be Highway Ricky Ross, or the CIA, or JFK, or the mafia hitting him in the middle of the day? Who is really spreading terror in the USA? Can it be the boys in blue busting shots at my brother Ahmadu for a wallet? Your punishment, you can't stall it. You reap what you sow, and that's how I call it. That's how it's crushed you like cockroaches. And you're thinking I wouldn't notice all those so-called revolutionaries who are down with the NYPD on their crown. Killer bees, whack MCs, brains weak from smoking trees after making G's. You're just on your knees, hoes for companies, filling the masses' mind with lyrical crack, keeping them behind. Hijacking brains is worse than planes. You know who you are, no need for names. You're only players in corporate games to help promote a man-made system. That's why I diss them and never miss them. Just in a position to call it how I see it. And if it makes me
now
what they claim, then so be it.
Wanna fight it? First you was divided, wouldn't buy it. Now if they need you, you heed the call. You get they half of the story, but you need it all. Come on, who'll be prepared in the land of the terrorists? Who will be scared in the land of the terrorists? Taking what's fair in the land of the terrorists. Fool, use your head in the land of the terrorists.
The issue at hand is a terrorist attack. Who, what, where, when, and why? The government commands the media to lie. We pride ourselves in intelligence. That's why we're asked for evidence, evaluating what's relevant. But in this case, they set precedents. Let's travel down memory lane and see who's really to blame. Could it be terrorism to kidnap and enslave people of color? Not to mention people like Kunta Kinte with my brothers. Where's the tribunal that investigates war crimes? I'm a descendant of slaves to terrorism who destroyed their lives. You walk out of the Durban Conference in August 01 to avoid restitution. To hell with you and your man-made constitution. Filthy cannibals and savages destroyed tribes and wiped out Native American Indians. Could this be terrorism? War crimes, or were they non-citizens? Your goal of the New World Order by raping our ladies and raising our babies, trying to drive me crazy, but the case you present is utter nonsense. Who hid behind the Constitution for 140 years, not allowing your women to vote? Who is considered human with a noose around his neck to choke? who dropped nuclear bombs on a civilian population. Do you remember? Stop saying it was wartime. Japan had already surrendered. Who instigated the Bay of Pigs invasion, screaming communism, then assassinated JFK because he didn't listen? Isn't this terrorism? Remember Operation Northwoods, plots to kill Americans to start a war with the Cuban island? Master terrorists of the Joint Chiefs of Staff sketched it with their own hands. Oh yes, the United States plans attacks on its own people. Dig this. From 1932 to 72, remember the Tuskegee experiment? Not to mention the soldiers with the Gulf War syndrome. How dare we think that terrorism ain't homegrown? In Fort Benning, Georgia, School of America's trained over 60,000 Latin assassins, also known as a terrorist training camp to the masses. But they changed the name to Western Hemisphere Institute for Security and Cooperation. So you kill and torture us with the same weapons and same faces? The death squads in El Salvador were your sick invention, establishing dictatorships and implementing insurgency prevention. Manuel Noriega was paid $200,000 from the CIA head George Bush Sr., from CIA director to president. What a dreamer. Could it be terrorism? Could it be war crimes that conscience committed? Wherever there's cocaine, heroin, dope, gas, or diamonds, etc., America's in it. The only country ever to get indicted by the World Court in 1984 recognized. You still owe $18 billion in a judgment. They ain't legit in your eyes. So as you accuse Islam because communism is no longer a threat, you did an amazing job on National Emergency Day. The stage was already set. 26 intelligence agencies operate stacking lies upon lies, and then they act surprised. We ain't blink once, punks. Look in our eyes. When you get tried for treason and on death row, we're gonna tear the chariot to swing low. So I'm either with you or the terrorists who practice violence. I guess I'll answer that with the Shahada and remain silent.
Yeah, up in the land of the terrorists. Use your dome in the land. Come on. Now you all united and wanna fight it. First you was divided and wouldn't buy it. Now if they need you, you heed the call. You get the half of the story, but you need it all. Come on. Who will be prepared in the land of the terrorists? Who will be scared in the land of the terrorists? Taking what's fed in the land of the terrorists. Fool, use your head in the land of the terrorists. Be prepared in the land of the terrorists. Who would be scared in the land of the terrorists? Are you taking what's fed in the land of the terrorists? Fool, use your head in the land of the terrorists. Yeah, and we are. AMP.